Okay, so I'm coming back now. So when we're talking about uh, what is product market fit, and we also looked at if the product is not meeting the consumer's expectations, that's where we are going to fail. And the failure can be because of many extraneous factors as well. Some of the reasons can be the product itself is not good, and sometimes there is no market for the product or there is no market demand, but it's like we think that this should be used by the people or the consumers. So if no one will use the product, it has no meaning. And further, even it will be worse if nobody is willing to pay for your product or the solution that you have built. So it is very important that you understand your customer well and then bring the product based on the customer's expectations, right? So typically this is called as product market fit pyramid. And if you see here, I'll just use a cursor. Yeah, so there are two phases. One is problem phase or the problem space, and another is solution space, right? So problem space is the market. So we are looking at the target customer and what are the underserved needs of the customer, or what is the customer looking for. So this is what is the problem statement, and you are trying to bring a solution or a product to meet the needs of the customer, and that's where you call it as the product addressing the queries or the needs of the customer. That is product market fit. And when you are building this product, you keep in mind, so what is the value proposition, so how this solution will help to elevate the needs or to satisfy the needs of the customer, and how you will achieve that. So what are the features that are getting built in your product? Now when I say product, it can be product, process, service, any solution that we're offering. And ultimately it can be gauged based on the UX, that is user experience. So user experience is the at the top of this pyramid, and the entire pyramid is based on the target customer identification and their needs identification. So uh, one has to be very sure that all the layers of this pyramid are closely interconnected, so that you have seamless seamless development of these products which will cater or satisfy the customers. And here you need a lot of research, so it doesn't happen overnight. So you really need to look at analyze in different ways what is customer, what are their needs, how can that need be satisfied. And so sometimes all these questions are answered when you directly talk to the customers, the end customers, right? So that's how you gauge the market and you try to come up with the solution. So when we talk about the market, so one has to understand the potential customer needs. So I'm repeating it again because that is the basis of product market. So you look at the target customer, so based on which we are actually looking at the arriving at a solution, right? So who are the customers? For example, uh, you come up with a fancy toy. So there is a certain age group. Only those age groups will get attracted towards this fancy toy, right? To use. So you need to you talk about our own sector, pharma and healthcare sector. Like I'm trying to work on a therapy which is for, say, I'm just giving example of one of the startups here. They are looking for a therapy, cell therapy for patients with diabetic foot ulcer, right? So the target customer will be the patients who have this ailment, right? Not everyone will go for this therapy. So the product is fitting only to that target customer. And here the underserved need is like for diabetic foot ulcer, there is no cure in terms of like you see that these ulcers they get worsened to the extent that sometimes you have to amputate the limbs, right? So it is a great concern, and if I can bring a solution which will serve this need. Now, such things again, as you can see here, the needs can be varying with respect to ages, demographics, life situations. So the target customer and their target customer may change, but the undeserved needs may be common. Right. Another example is say within the family you have different age groups, right? So you have grandparents, parents, and kids. All of them have different ages, but all of them would like to spend time together. Right. So that is again, you can say that's a underserved need. So how they can spend time together? So that becomes a problem set, and which you can give solution to. So as you can see here, the target customer and the underserved need together create the market. Right? Now, once you identified target customer and their needs, now you come up with a product, develop such a product which will satisfy the market. Right? So, three aspects that we saw: value proposition. Basically, it is the answer to the problem that customer has. The feature set. Now, these are the features of the product, and they are like they will allow the value proposition to be realized. Means how the solution will be implemented, and of course, as we saw, the user experience. So one has to bring such features that you can implement this solution, and the users should get a pleasant experience when they are actually using the solution. So just take an example of say AirPods, right? This is very like you will find many people using AirPods these days. So in this case of product, this is a typical consumer product, and what is the value proposition? That you can listen to music and make calls confidently on the go, right? So you are not hooked to one place. You need not wire it to any device, right? So these AirPods give this experience to the customers. So what are the features? So you can listen to music, you can make a call, right? And it will fit in the contours of your ears securely, right? So when the users are using such device, so it is important that one has to understand what does the user need to do to make these features work, right? So so it is not that the product has wonderful features so it will work. Even the customers need to be educated to make maximum use of the features of this product has, right? And how would they describe the experience? So after using this AirPods, what is your experience, right? So if I have to show you, just give me a second. Just I'm giving you example when we are building a particular product, what all aspects actually get into weight. So I'm just trying to bring out the features of this AirPods, right? So this is third generation AirPod. You can look at the pricing, right? Now we already saw what value proposition it is bringing, right? So you have spatial audio with dynamic head tracking places, sound all around you, right? That's how they are telling customers what this product will bring to you. And what are additional features? So it has long battery life, right? It talks about all new contour design, so you can like actually use it very easily. It has adaptive echo and automatically tunes music to your ear. it is sweat and water resistant. So just look at it. When the product is being designed, every small little problem that customer may face has been taken into account, right? So if your AirPods are sitting in the air for long and you imagine Ahmedabad summers, I'm sure you'll be worried about sweating and other stuff, right? And the AirPods will not get actually spoiled because of it. And also it talks about effortless connection, automatically switching between the devices and sharing the audio. So as a customer, I'm just looking for having a best experience of listening to music or making the calls, right? And of course, to attract further, like see, free engraving on AirPods. So you can get your name engraved or anything in that you want to get it, right? So when you look at the product information, so look at the design and the features that are built, I think majority of customers will have these pain points, right? Battery life. So nobody would like to charge it again and again, every now and then, every hour or every second hour. So it gives you 6 hours battery backup. So I'm not marketing this product. I'm just trying to take this example to show what goes when you are actually trying to fit a product to the market or to the customer, right? So there are technical specifications also. So what kind of sensor, which chip is being used, what controls are there in place. Importantly, the size and weight, right? Right? So that is also important when you are carrying any wearable or a device on your body. So this is how I wanted to give this example for basically the airdrop as one product which has certain features built in to suit to the customer needs. Now moving forward, let's look at from the theoretical perspective or from the market perspective. So when I say product market fit, it is actually the amalgamation of desirability, that is what the consumer wants, feasibility. So can I provide a solution for the problem that consumer has, and viability. So if I make this product, right, whether this product will be viable commercially, can I make money after selling this product? So the amalgamation of these three is actually product market fit. You can see in different angle as well, like look at what is the demand. So what is the customer looking for? That is called as the customer demand, and also it represent the market opportunity. And what is the competition? So for example, again, AirPods, if we think, there are so many you can say devices to listen, right? Wired devices, wireless devices. So what is the competition that you have? How different this particular product will be when a customer wants to go for it, right? This is market opportunity and the product. So what is the product and what do you do best as your product in the presence of competition? So that brings a market fit. And the product which is solving the demand is market relevance. So it is relevant to the market demand. So this amalgamation is also looked as product market fit. So you are looking at desirability, feasibility, viability of the product with respect to market. And you are also looking at market opportunity, market fit, and market relevance for the product to cater to the requirements of the customers. Now let us see this product market fit pyramid in action. So as we saw, the lowest strata is the target customer. So you identify precisely this target customer, and the next comes is underserved needs, right? So you with this target customer or the representatives, we need to capture precise picture of the needs, right? So this is also in other words called as identifying the problem, right? So this is the most critical stage So once you do realistically identify the problem, then it is easy to arrive with the solution. And then, so whenever you are interacting with customer, whatever learnings are there with these interactions, they again come back and you keep refining this target customer and need identification. And based on this information, you are coming up with the solution, right? You are designing a value proposition so that the customer's needs are satisfied. So you don't stop here by just shaping a solution, but you again go with this particular solution to the customer and confirm if whatever solution you have brought will help them, right? So again, you are meeting the customers, taking the feedback and revisiting the first two steps, that is market. Then you are coming up with something called as a minimum viable product. So this is a product which has minimum features which will solve the problem, and at the same time it is viable. So once you make this viable MVP, you are implementing this minimum viable product, means you are now giving these products to the real users to use and give the feedback, right? So meeting the customers, get this MVP tested, and this will help you to confirm whether your assumptions have worked or not, right? The product that you have brought is meeting customer needs or not. So if not, probably you are changing the product, adopting the suggestions from consumer, and repeating this entire process. So this is always an iterative process. It is not a one-time process. So to define a minimum viable product, actually these are two circles you can see here. So the moment you say minimum, means it has some features. I'm sure that crappy products nobody wants to use, right? So there has to be something the customer would like to use, right? But when building those features, you also need to check whether it is viable, right? So if the viable product is the products built by companies better financed than yours, right? So as a startup, if I tell startups are low on finances, right? So they are low on resources. So you are actually having those features which you are trying to bring into the product, which already your competitors may have, or you want to bring more features than your competitors. But then there has to be balance. So the features and the viability has to be brought into this product. That becomes your minimum viable product. So this is just an example, like diagrammatic representation. You can see that if you want to build a car, so this is not the way you look at or you perceive the car. There is a wheel. So I just want to put one more wheel, some body and car. Or not even that, I'm trying to replace the cycle by a car, right? And going through this path. But actually, you know that in market there are cars, right? So you can see this is a car without kind of this is only a solo driver car probably. Then it has some storage, and then you have passenger car, right? Where you have all the features which the drivers. Now here you will see that these are the wheels without tires. Here you have wheels with tires, and then you have some mud flaps and other features which will help the customer. So this is how somebody looks at the minimum viable products. It has minimum features, and then you can keep on building on the features. And if you really want to have a successful product market fit, so broadly there are two phases, that before looking at the product market fit and after the product market fit. So before product market fit, you have iterative process of feedback loop. So you have identified the customers, you have validated the customers in with respect to your minimum viable product which you have implemented, and you have got feedback from the customers, and then implementing learnings from those feedback, and you are actually refining your product. And once this is done, now this process happens at a small funding, right? You have less, you are less on finances as well as on the team. But the moment you finish the iterations and have a refined product ready to go to market, that's where after product market fit, you are looking for getting into new customers. So you are generating demand. So you have scaled up your operations, you have scaled up your team, you have more finances, and you are now expanding your markets. And that's how the company gets bigger and bigger. And that's what happens once you actually have a good product market fit, which helps you to scale quickly. Now let's see where actually the product market fit lies on a business canvas. Right? So this is a business canvas, and there are several components of it. The moment we say business, first is what is the problem, right? And what are the target customers that we already saw, and which are those customers which may be early adopters or who can uh, try to experiment your product, a new product. So when you have identified the target customer and their needs, then you are building on the unique value proposition. What is that unique feature that you are bringing which will solve the problem, right? And then the solution evolves. So you actually may have multiple solutions, and then you try and optimize the solutions. Parallelly, you also scout for what are the channels of getting the customers who will use the product, right? And in the process, you are also looking at what is the cost and revenue. So how much I may spend and what is the revenue that I'm going to get. And then once this is in place, you have fair understanding, then you look at some of the metrics that now the solution is ready, customers I have identified, now I have started selling the product to the customer, and now I see how I gauge the success of the business, fitment of the product with the market, and what is that unfair advantage that I have, or the features my product or service has, which others cannot copy. So I try to make myself immune to the competition at least for some time when you talk about a sustainable business. So this is how a typical business canvas is built. And when I talk about product market fit, you can see that there are two fits. One is problem solution fit. So this we saw problem and the proposed solution. And second is the product market fit. So it fits into, so now you have product features, the value proposition, right, that you have built. And you are now looking for the customers to acquire your product. This is where in the business canvas, the product market fit plays a role. And as you can see here, this takes a major chunk of the entire business model canvas. So once you have identified problem, have defined the solution, you have tested it, validated it, and now you are actually rolling on to customer. And this is here it is very important that you have good number of customers which are loyal to you, or they would love to use your product again and again. So this is where on the business canvas, the product market fit sits. But how to achieve it? That is the next question. That is H. How do I achieve a product market fit? So first and foremost, you need to do thorough research, right? Look at what are the target customers and what they want, right? So you can do some behavior studies, some groups, industry groups you can understand. You can look at the social media for the behavior of the customers. So these are very great source to actually look at the reality of market and what customers need, right? So that's a part of research. Then you understand the market through the metrics. So you need to bring now a method to the madness when you are when your research when you are doing the research. So there are several metrics which you can use to understand the market, right? One is what is the size of the market, right? So, like typically, you will listen from the startup founders is they start telling about what is the population of India. If I'm focusing only on India, and out of that population, like for example, somebody is coming with a cosmetic product for females, and they'll say about 50% of the females. So that's how they try to nail down what would be the customer size for my product. So there are certain terminologies which I'll brush upon those terminologies. So first and foremost, you determine the total addressable market. It is called as TAM. So you need to identify the size of the market, and then out of the total market, the next segment comes in the service addressable market, or SAM. So that is what is the proportion of total market that you can address or you can hit. So that is service addressable market, right? And this is typically affected by the location. For example, as a startup, if I start working in Ahmedabad, so I think the first target would be customers in and around Ahmedabad and maybe Gujarat, and then I start going to the other parts of the country and so on and so forth. And this third terminology is service obtainable market, or SOM. So in the startup lingo, you will see that this TAM, SAM, SOM, they use it very often. So these are the number of users you can realistically acquire. So it's not a hypothetical number. This is like, now what is the product, what tools you have to reach to the customer, and how many customers you can acquire. And when you talk about the potential revenue, so this SOM is multiplied by average revenue per user. So the unit cost. So whatever product, service, or process you have built, what is the cost of that particular solution multiplied by service obtainable market. That becomes your total potential revenue for that particular company or the business. So there are several factors which go into understanding the market and trying to bring the revenue aspect to the business model. So first is we are doing research, then we are understanding the market. So these are some of the metrics that is used for understanding the market. And then you need to utilize the tools to measure net promoter score or product market fit to evaluate and improve the product. So how it works is like net promoter score. So this is a very common terminology. So when you are talking to customers, you probably have, I will come to that you get their feedback on your product, service, whatever, and they rate you in terms of several parameters. And the average score of the various customers that you have interacted becomes the net promoter score. Now, let me share that this kind of exercise was also done for AIC LMCB Foundation. So, where like independent body had contacted people around, even the startups, and tried to understand how AIC is catering to their needs. So, if I say AIC service as a service, and startups as the customers or the market. So how AIC services are helping to this startup. So there was a specific net promoter score derived at. And product market fit, there are various tools available which will help you in customizing the feedbacks from the customer. So there are two sets of questionnaires if you look at, right? So you have product survey questionnaire and customer interviews. So the survey question should be very simple and easy to answer, as you can see here. So the simplest question can be by using this specific product, Does this address your need, right? These are the questions being asked to the customer as a survey. Next question is, how likely are you to recommend this product to a friend or a colleague? I'm sure we come across all such questionnaires through various products or even online courses when you attend. Any customer interaction by various companies has this question by default, right? So this is where you have to rate and say that you can recommend to your friend only when you are convinced about the product and its features or its advantages, right? Third is, which of the descriptions below best matches you. So you are actually giving choices to understand what type of customer it is, right? And so you understand the customer persona. For example, a simple registration for any event or webinar, they will ask you, other than name, email, phone, and all, they may ask you, are you a student? Are you a teacher? Are you industry personnel? So on and so on. So they understand who is a consumer of this particular product or the service. And next is how easy this product to use, right? So user friendliness, that is also being checked by asking this question. And how likely are you to use this product over similar platforms, right? So this is also a common question, like you have 5 different choices for the same need. So how likely that you will use only my product, right? That's the question. So that gives a sense of understanding where we stand in terms of competition and how the competitive products or my product is addressing the customer's needs. So this is more like taking customers' perception on usability. Next is, as I said, when you are interviewing a customer, getting the feedback, the question should be open-ended, right? You should not be hinting the answers. So simple thing is like, what do you think about this product? We should not ask, do you like this product? We should ask, what do you think about this product? So it's so open, and so the customer will give you as much information as possible when the questions are open-ended. Next is, if you were the product manager for this product, what would you improve and why? So again, it makes a lot of sense to understand what additional expectations the customer has in terms of the product features, right? Third is, could you walk me through step by step your process for using this product? This is also equally important. As I said, you need to train the customer to use your product effectively. If not, if they have not understood how to use the product, it may backfire. They may say that the product is useless. Somebody who doesn't know how to use a smartphone, they may say this is useless. Whatever is, if I have to just make a call, why the hell I should have smartphone? They don't understand. So it is important to know that, understand how customer is using your product, and if it is not done correctly, you may still educate. Then next very important aspect is, how does this product make you feel? So emotional quotient. So you try to bring that, how do you feel when you are using this product? So they may give various emotional context to it, and that is very important when it comes to customer satisfaction. And another question is, what do you dislike about this product? This is always a good question for from the point of seeking improvements to the product. So the moment uh, you see that people say no, I think you should increase the length of the stick to the AirPod, whatever. I mean, I don't like the shape of the product. I don't like color of the product. So then you take those aspects for improvement. Then you can subsequently, if you don't like this, say for example, color. So which color you would like to have, right? So that gives us understanding of, I can then cater to more and more customers by understanding them. So this is how the product market fit is actually measured through the customer feedback of the customer. And the feedback process actually continues. So this is called as the feedback cycle. So right from idea, uh, once you have idea, you are building your prototype and then testing that product, right? And whatever data is generated, you are interfering, you are interpreting this data and learning from these experiences, and then again putting back into the product's improvement. So now we understood what is product market fit. We also looked at where it fits into the entire business canvas. We also looked at how one can measure the product market fit. The next question comes is why it is necessary to look at the product market fit, right? So just to tell you, uh, one of the main reasons why the products fail because they don't meet the customer needs, right? So that is why it is important to have a right product market fit. And if you look here on the left side, most frequently cited reasons for the startup failure. So first is no market need. So the market doesn't want it, but you have made some product, right? But natural, there are no takers. Pricing and costing issues, viability, as we were talking about, poor product, you don't have value proposition or the features of the product, poor marketing, means you have not understood the market properly, so you cannot reach to the market. Ignoring customers, right? The feedback of the customers, you just take feedback that you want. Product is mistimed. So it is also important that when you are doing product market fit, there is a relevance of the time. So whatever is relevant today, maybe a few months down the lane, it may not be relevant. So the time at which you are bringing the product to the market or you are launching this product to the customers is equally important. So product market fit actually brings, like if you achieve this, you are going to succeed in the business. That's what you can see here. Pre-product market fit, you would start gaining some traction, and once you have the product market fit, the revenue scale up, everything scales up, your market scales up. So that's why a product market fit is essential. And again, it has been cited that the number one company killer is lack of market. So the market always wins. So we need to understand the market well and make the product according, right? So basically, product market fit is being in a good market with a product that can satisfy the market, and that only will make your business successful, right? So, in short, the takeaway is one needs to really do research, create hypothesis about solution, build a solution, test it test it rigorously, and feed the findings back into the process. So that is how you can actually achieve product market fit. And remember that no company fixes product market fit right away, right? So it's a iterative process. But if you do proper planning and intentional research, it is possible that you will get very close to the product market fit and have the success in the business. And ultimately, one has to do all that is necessary to get to the product market fit. Now, it can be any resource, any processes that need to be modified. The ultimate aim of any business or any startup is to acquire the customers, not only customer, satisfied customers. So you have to do whatever is required to have product market fit. So I'm just leaving this as a food for thought. This is Henry Ford had said that if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So now I'm just leaving it for thought because we were talking about understanding customer. So we are talking about demand pull innovations, and what Ford is talking about is something different. He is trying to talk about the disruptive innovations, right? So with this, I'm just putting again AICLMCP's foundation slide because here again we are helping startups to understand the market, to understand the customers. We are also helping them to devise the right product, and also kind of helping them to understand what are the barriers to market, right? So we have lot of regulatory hurdles if I have to take one product for health into the market. So incubation center does a lot of hand-holding, mentoring, and brings in a lot of ecosystem support so that the startup understands the importance of product market fit right from the beginning, and they know what are the challenges for bringing the right product to the patients or to the consumers or customers. So with this, of course, for any assistance or any doubts, you can reach out to AIC when it comes to your startup idea, business idea in pharma healthcare sector. And if there are any questions, we can take. I'll stop sharing. Are there any questions or?
Students, if there are any questions.
I think we are celebrating a lot of days these days, so everybody must be eager to move on, right? So thank you for patient listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an insightful session. If any, the link for the attendance is shared in the chat box. So, and I would now like to invite Dr. M.T. Chavaria, sir, to felicitate Dr. Savle, sir, with the certificate of appreciation.
Yeah, Darshi. Yeah. Okay. So, Dr. Savleji, your talk was really very interesting and very insightful and very useful. If students have or the participants have listened to this very carefully, this may guide them how to move ahead. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You are a family member of LM College of Pharmacy only.
Yes.
So, please accept our token of love and appreciation for nice talk.
Always.
Nice webinar presented. Thank you. Thank you for doing so.
It's my privilege, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Dr. Vidhi Shah, ma'am, to deliver a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Drashti. So, on behalf of LM College of Pharmacy and IIC committee, I would like to thank Dr. Srinivas Savle sir for his excellent presentation and providing the consent of his lecture at such a short notice. Sir has lucidly explained the development of the products which are needed in the society, that is based on the desirability, feasibility and viability of the product. The development of minimum viable product with excellent example is explained by the sir. He has also shown how the product can be improved by using the feedback cycle. So definitely these things will be useful to our student and it might ignite the spark of innovative work in our students. So we are very thankful to you, sir, once again. Now I would like to thank Principal Sir for his constant encouragement and support in organizing such a motivative lectures for the students. Further, I would extend my hearty thanks to the Professor Praful Baradia Sir, Radhika Panya Madam, Coordinator of IIC, for their untiring efforts in continuing and conduction of such a, innovative lectures. I would like to thank ISC volunteers and Drashti for anchoring the session and all the other faculty members and audience for sparing their valuable time. So thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for joining the session. So
Thank
now
you.
we
Thank
will
you.
like to end the meet. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you.